We're back here on First Up, the first stop in your busy day. Our focus, of course, is on the agriculture sector. A World Food Day coming up on Saturday. Still with us, Norris Deonarine of the National Food Crop Farmers Association. Norris Deonarine, a couple text messages coming in. We have a question here from Caleb. He wants to know, has government planned to do anything about the issue of predial larceny? He says farmers' lives are at stake when they engage in farming as a result of predial larceny.
Yes, over the last couple of months, we have been engaging in talks with the Ministry of Agriculture, with the Minister himself and other senior officials in the Ministry of Agriculture to address this issue, this very burning issue of predial larceny in Trinidad and Tobago in particular. The Minister himself has set up 3 pilot projects that we want to get on stream as soon as possible. We wanted it to be a much more wider area in Trinidad and Tobago because there have been a number of proposals that has been put on the table in terms of, one, the predial larceny squad itself, because under the last regime, they developed something that they call the Ranger Squad, yes. Right? Now, we have been questioning these things. What is the type of real teeth that this thing had in the past then? Have these people been properly equipped? How are they properly mobile?
So the squad actually exists?
Yes, it does, and it was based down in Central, right? Now, the thing is that if we are to be effective in predial larceny, we thought that this squad should be under the ambits of the police force because, one, we need to understand the Predial Larceny Act and how it is that we are going to really successfully prosecute people who are caught in the act of stealing farmers' produce, be it crops or animals, etc. And this is why we, that was around 2009, we seeked an update, and there was this meeting at a Lockjack building on Uriah Butler Highway, where a number of proposals were put in to update the act in itself. And critical to this was different stakeholders from the Ministry of National Security, the police service itself, people from different stakeholders in the agriculture sector. What has been put on the table right now is these 3 areas, which are 1, Felicity, 2, Cunupia, and the 3rd one, Pajimakoya, which the National Food Crop Farmers Association as one of the groups, because the 3 groups that...
The 3 main food baskets, as it were.
Yeah, the 3 groups that are involved in it is the Cunupia Farmers Association, the Agriculture Society, and National Food Crop Farmers Association. These were the people who have been brought on board to really get this project off the ground and for us to start this at this implementation stage. But we want to see this project widen because a number of farmers throughout Trinidad and Tobago, in North, East, Central, South, and even in Tobago, they face this problem generally, and a lot of times then, particularly when they have crops and animals to rear then. And we need to get this project off the ground. A number of things have been recommended in terms of technology, in terms of things like cameras, lighting, alarm systems, usage of farmers' phones, connections to nearby police stations, etc. So we are in the process. We are on the committee right now, and we are pushing for this implementation to take place as soon as possible because we want to also look at it critically to see how successful it is going to be so that we could widen it into areas like Wallerfield and some of the outlying areas in Trinidad and Tobago.
That could only be effective with effective representation for the agricultural sector. And that takes us back to what you were talking about, storming the meeting October 2008 and the issues that have come from that. What is the situation right now? Because again, earlier this week, we had Felicity, former Caroni workers, coming on this program, accusing the president of the Agricultural Society Society, Danosuku, of encouraging other farmers in Felicity to move on to people's housing plots. Then we had Danosuku and another representative from Felicity saying that is not so at all, and that basically is Norris Deonarine might just be sour because he lost the last election to Danosuku. He get bad licks. Is that what it comes down to, a personality battle, and as a result of that,
well, I think this is what maybe that particular person wants to bring it down to, but it's something more than this. This fight in Trinidad and Tobago is about empowering farmers.
Is it about empowering farmers or having the power to control farmers?
Well, some people want to have the power to control farmers. We want to move away from that. We are moving away from that structure about top-down, the top-down approach. We're trying to decentralize power, give power to farmers in their communities, because it is only the farmers, men and women, who know their problems in a particular situation. And you see all this old talk and sweet mouthing where people can just come and talk on behalf of people and things and feel that that is representation. That is a thing of the past.
But
After all, the Agriculture Society is about 170 years old.
Somebody has been duly elected.
Yes.
There's no. I am not aware of anybody saying that it was a corrupt election, that it was an improper process.
Yes, people who have said that.
But general, so far,
do you believe first that over the last 2 years in the election process in the Agriculture Society, at an AGM meeting level, there has been no reports coming on the table to be tabled to the general membership.
About the election process.
Well, and because they're only dealing with the election process, but an AGM, by nature, is when the secretary or the president or even the treasurer would come and present a report to the meeting, and secondary to that is the elections. And this is what has been happening. Now, people could come and say that they have won elections and stuff, but on that very said election in 2009, hundreds and hundreds of people in Trinidad and Tobago were turned away from voting.
Bona fide?
They were bona fide people. And the real farmers were really shut out of the process. While Tom, Dick, Harry, Jane, and Mary, and Sita could have come and vote for a particular section of people. But I do not want to harp on that, because I myself, when I entered onto the board of the Agriculture Society in 2008, I was very skeptical, knowing the history of this organization, knowing where it came from, and what it has been standing for. I remember I have a.
Is it a case that you couldn't have your way, so you drop out?
No, it's not a matter of having our way. The matter is putting the issues of farmers and the issues of agriculture on the table, because agriculture has been neglected for so long. And I want to come back to the point about the farmers in Felicity.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if people were so generous, if they were so caring, if they were so understanding, and you have thousands and thousands of people who've been given a visa package since 2003, and they have just been left out in the rain, dew, and sun to fend for themselves, and you care about the agriculture sector so much, then it should be your leadership patterns and should be able to help these people and say, look, these people are suffering. These are prospective farmers. These are the type of people we want to get into agriculture. But this is not what happened. People saw the opportunity to use and partner with the EMBD, not fix the roads that the ex-colony workers would have used to go onto their lands. The drainage was poor. You fix a road called Bernard Road in Felicity. You get people from all outside to come, and some of the same people were here. The question should have been asked, how come? Who gave you the permission to own 40, 50, 60 acres? And when you check among your family, it's more than 100 acres. Who it is encouraged this? While the people who have the 2-acre plots, they have been left out in the rain to fend for themselves, and then you're hearing talk about, if you don't plant your land, then the government or some agencies like the MBDC is going to take it back for you. This is total advantage. This is why we promoted...
When you say we, you mean the National Food Crop Farmers?
National Food Crop Farmers Association. We promoted the idea that is only when farmers are empowered in their communities, that they are the people who understand their problems, and out of their communities, leadership would emerge. Because this, as you know, the National Food Crop Farmers Association is no ordinary organization in Trinidad and Tobago. We have been in the forefront, in a vanguard position in a number of issues in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, let me challenge you right away, Norris, that in the sense that if you have been around for so long, if you've been in the vanguard and agriculture is in the state that it is, farmers are in the condition that they are, isn't that a failure of the national food crop farmers?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a failure because we have been up against it. We have had consecutive governments in Trinidad and Tobago whose policy is to really import food. And that is in direct contravention against the operations of farmers in Trinidad and Tobago. If it is that we are giving priority to someone comes and sells to a Minister of Finance, a Minister of Agriculture, a cabinet, a government in Trinidad, if you have food available from America or outside source, and that is, and they have been successfully selling it to governments in Trinidad, that is food security, then somebody has to rise up against that and say that is not the way. And this is the struggle we have been up to. And when you say the National Food Crop Farmers Association, I want to tell you, I haven't been in this position all this time. We have had successful leaderships in the National Food Crop Farmers Association. People who have died and gone, and different generations of people have been rising out of the cadre force inside of the National Food Crop Farmers Association. I might be about the third generation of farmers who have risen to the occasion to carry the organization forward with its issues.
One of the issues that you've been railing against for a while is the issue of the mega farms. We've had a change in government now. What is happening with those mega farms?
Well, you see what's going on. There are several reports. The mega farm is like a ghost town right now. After millions and millions of dollars have been invested. When this whole issue of the mega farm was proposed, you have to remember when this was proposed, it was proposed in 2007
yes.
up at Trinity.
Consultation just before the election.
Just before election, where Mr. Manning and then came and said that they're thinking about economy at scale and all kind of fancy talk, right? And we said, why don't you divide up the same land into 5-acre plots, 10-acre plots, 20-acre plots, and give it to small farmers in Trinidad and Tobago? Because after all, these are the very said people who are suffering for things like security of tenure, bad infrastructure, poor irrigation, all these different things. There are not the necessary research and development being done in Trinidad and Tobago. These are some of the things. Now, we in National Food Crop Farmers, we understand all these this essay of issues, you know.
Yeah.
We understand this. This is why we are promoting something right now that is totally different from all these different organizations.
What are you promoting?
We want to move agriculture forward by promoting more agriculture production in Trinidad and Tobago. And this is why we have formed an alliance with key people in Trinidad and Tobago like Mr. Nazimul Karim. He's one of the best farmers in Trinidad and Tobago who want to divulge a lot of the information that he has learned over the years to farmers all over Trinidad and Tobago. So this is something we want to treat as a Trinbago thing, you know what I mean? We have Mr. Marcus Maiku, an agronomist, who has the type of methods and techniques that would be able to push the agriculture sector forward in terms of its production. And this is because you hear them talking about where GDP is, how it's just like 0.03 or some kind of thing like that. If we are to make this impact, if we are to show everybody in this country that the agriculture sector can move forward, that we can grow it over the next couple of years to about over 6% GDP, then we are moving in the right direction. This is why we have started this program, and we have already hit the ground running all in areas like Pinal, Shagwanas, Arangwes already, and we are going on to different areas. But this is the kind of key people we want, because we do not want to come back and be talking about how it is we're going to move the agriculture sector forward if we have a fight between Danusuku and agriculture. If it's a personality, this thing is bigger than me and anybody else. This is about moving the agriculture sector forward. This is about developing a key arm of our economy, which is the agriculture sector. And how it is we're going to do that? We're not just going to do that by coming to say, the defending thing and talk about elections and all that kind of nonsense, because we know that that was a bogus process already. And we know who are singing for their supper. We know, I could come here and I could talk. I just didn't come here. I bring a file to show you here this morning about what is being done and the issues that we've been talking. I could have come here and talk about how the elections was bogus I could come here and talk about how some people feel they're better than roti and tomatoes, sugar and sweet bread, and they feel it's the best thing for agriculture. But this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about empowering the farmers. We're talking about a movement from on the ground in all different agricultural areas in Trinidad and Tobago, seeking for that type of recognition of the farmers in Trinidad and Tobago so that they could promote whatever area that they're involved in. And I just want to mention
very quickly, we have just about 20 seconds left.
I just want to say that, you know, I could have come and talk about, you know, what's going on in the agriculture society in terms of elections. I could have come and talk about how today in the agriculture society, where's Mr. Medford from the Cattle Farmers Association, where's Shiraz Khan from the Sheep and Goat Association? Where are these people?
I understand what you're saying.
These people are outside.
Norris, but we'll have to leave it here for the moment because time has run out against us. World Food Day coming up on Saturday. A lot of issues in the agriculture sector in Trinidad and Tobago, and for the Food Production Minister Vasan Bharat, not just the clinical policy holders, but the substantive position of dealing with the farmers is foremost. The latest at the top of the hour.